Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Kayode Kikulu here in Lagos. Let's show you the big political stories making the rounds at this time. For the second time, court dismisses suit challenging the eligibility of Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and his deputy in the November 16, 2024 governorship election. The Social Democratic Party welcomes former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai from the All Progressives Congress, but not without some reservations, as the party's presidential candidate says he has weaknesses to work on. Well, let's begin at the court, where Federal High Court sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, has dismissed the suit challenging the eligibility of the Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and his deputy Olaide Adelami for the November 16th governorship election in the state. The governorship candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, that's the NNPP, Olugbenga Edema, had sought the court's order to compel the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to withdraw the nomination and the names of Aiyedatiwa of the All Progressives Congress and his deputy as candidates. The NNPP candidate approached the court to interpret the applicability of Section 15 of the Constitution over the nomination of the APC candidate. However, his party, the NNPP, sought to be withdrawn from the suit, but Mr. Edema's counsel said that he had appealed against the court's decision agreeing to that withdrawal. Consequently, in her ruling, Justice Toyin Bolaji Adegoke said the notice of appeal does not automatically halt proceedings and dismissed the suit with a 100,000 naira fine on the plaintiff. In December last year, the same court had dismissed a similar suit filed by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Sagbola Ajayi, challenging the governor's qualification. Away from the courts now, more reactions continue to trail former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai's decision to leave the All Progressives Congress APC for the SDP, that's the Social Democratic Party. Well, the latest is from the presidential candidate of the SDP in the 2023 election, Mr. Adewale Adebayo, who on the one hand said that Mr. El-Rufai is an asset with a proven track record of exemplary public service and will be a great addition to the party. On the other hand, however, he said he has his weaknesses, which he needs to work on. Mr. Adewale Adebayo was speaking on our breakfast show, The Morning Brief.
El-Rufai did not run crashing to our party. We had discussions with him. We had ideological interaction. We have areas where even now we still have work in progress. Some of his ideas that he's used to over the years that the SDP will not accept. So we're working on that, and don't be surprised if you hear in 2 weeks' time, 2 months' time, that Adebayo and El-Rufai disagree vehemently on an issue in SDP. I'm not saying we are now Siamese twins. What I'm saying is that he has what it takes to understand the SDP, and it's a hard-working person. We are going to have a meeting in the party, and he's going to say something or push a position I don't agree with, that I will say, oh, El-Rufai is now my buddy. No. The issue is that we see him as an asset. We see him as a hard-working person, and he has verifiable, measurable track record of public performance. So what I believe is that he has his own weaknesses, which he needs to work on, but I'm not his mentor or his therapist. But what I know is that Nigerians overall have a bird-eye view of El-Rufai.
Well, staying with politics, but this time within the Labour Party in Imo State, southeast Nigeria, where the crisis rocking the party appears to be far from over, as some members of the State Working Committee have passed a vote of no confidence on the state chairman, Mr. Callistus Ejegwa. At a press conference held in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Mr. Bright Oforum, alongside some other members, that's executive of the parties, outlined 4 major allegations against the chairman, from allegations of autocracy and impunity to anti-party activities, financial recklessness, misappropriation of funds, and constitutional breaches. Well, according to the group, these allegations have continued or contributed to the decline in fortunes of the Labour Party in the state, and they are calling on the National Working Committee of the Labour Party to appoint an acting state chairman, insisting that such a move is necessary to safeguard the party's relevance in Imo State. So let's find out what exactly is playing out within the Labour Party in Imo State. And we're joined on the program by the man in the eye of a storm, the chairman of the Labour Party in the state, Mr. Callistus Ejiagwa. He joins us virtually on the program, as well as Mr. Mika Ejirika, who is a legal advisor of the Labour Party in Imo State. Gentlemen, you're welcome to Lunchtime Politics. And I'll naturally come to you, Mr. Ejiagwa. Those are major allegations leveled against you by some executive members of your party, ranging from autocracy, impunity, anti-party activities, financial recklessness, misappropriation of funds, and constitutional breaches. Quite weighty, don't you say? I hope you can hear me, Mr. Ejegwa. Trying to get your reaction to these weighty allegations leveled against you by some of the executives of your party, some of whom you've worked with for quite some time. So I'm kind of trying to get you to speak to these allegations, which are quite weighty. So please confirm, Mr. Ejegwa, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
So please go ahead.
Was a bit bad, but I can hear you now.
No, it's okay. So please go ahead. How do you react to those very weighty allegations?
First of all, I must thank Channel TV for the opportunity of bringing me on board to say my own side of the story, because that is what I call professional journalism. You asked me to respond to the allegations which you said are weighty. There is no allegation to respond to yet. What they said are so generic, it pinned down to nothing. You cannot just say financial recklessness, constitutional breaches. What constitutional breaches? There must be a provision of the Constitution that I have breached or violated. There must be a specific issue of financial recklessness. I'm a lawyer. You cannot need
Never mind. All right,
it's
back. Please go ahead. All right, so you say that there's nothing specific. So let's find out from Mr. Ejirika, legal advisor of the Labour Party, and I'm glad both of you...
There is nothing...
Right, so let's get to him. Mr. Ejirika, so this is going to be a battle of lawyers in some sense. So do you have specifics aside those broadly speaking allegations leveled against Mr. Ejirika?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, anti-party activities. Well, first, in law, once an admission has been made, a confession has been made, you don't even need to prove it. While inaugurating the Obedient Mobilization Group, the state chairman there told us that the APC is paying the salaries of the workers, that is the secretarial workers, the admin workers. He said it. He said it, and we have evidence, and we have witnesses, that APC is paying the workers in the state secretariat. He wasn't, let me tell you, he wasn't secretive about it. He said it openly before the hearing of everybody. That is one. Two.
Does that include the salary of Mr. Ejirika as well? Mr. Ejirika, does that also include the salary of Mr. Ejirika, the chairman of the party?
No, I don't know what you mean by salary, because all of us, we don't take salary as the executives of the party. But then, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Now, when our members defected, especially the member representing our federal constituency defected, we urged him, I even sent him what the party is supposed to put out. Because when somebody who ran in the Labour Party platform and rode the P2B wave and got our ticket, ditched our party. Then the party in the state has to respond to it. Do you know what he said? He told me and told other people that we're not going to talk about it. And up to today, I challenge him there to show me one press conference that he did, one press statement that he released to talk about the defection of our member. That's our member, that's our former member that was representing our federal constituency. But I can remember when Senator Ezenwa Onyewuchi, the first one to defected, he was everywhere. And we are even saying that he, the current state chairman, left us to go to Jerusalem on a state government APC sponsored pilgrimage. Ask him if he informed this SWC, that is the state working committee, that he was going on pilgrimage. He was asking for specifics. Let me give him specifics. He on many occasions did just the money in the party account, he spends it the way he wants. He doesn't get approval from the SWC most times. And he's talking of constitutionality. Let us go there. He has been removing members, especially party officials, in the state, in the local government, in the wards, without recourse to what the Labour Party constitution says, which is that the person must be heard. These people have not been heard. What he does is that he removes them and puts his cronies. Is that not against even the constitution of the Labour Party? So he's talking of specifics. He's a lawyer. Ask him if he never admitted to anti-party activities, if he never confessed that APC, in particular, in reference to a Federal House of Representatives member in Imo State that is paying the salary of the secretarial staff, which he recruited, who are under his control. Ask him.
All right, so Mr. Hejurika, so let's go to him now and get his response to some of those allegations that you've made. Well, Mr. Hejurika, you asked him to be specific. He's now specific. Quite a number of issues he listed. Payment of workers in the state secretariat. He says that you admitted that it's by the APC, but you didn't speak about the defection of one of the major members. The other one, which I find quite curious, is the pilgrimage bit. It says that you went on an APC-sponsored Jerusalem pilgrimage. You didn't tell the state working committee about it. He's also talked about spending money in the account, whichever way you like, and removing party officials. So I counted, that's about 5 or thereabouts. So you can speak to them.
Network has not been so good. Please kindly repeat the point so that I can respond accordingly.
Okay, which of them did you catch?
Okay.
Which of the allegations did you hear? Which of the 5?
I heard the issue of pilgrimage. I heard the issue. He said that APC is paying the salaries. I also heard you ask him if it's my salary. He said no. Okay, that is the 2 that I heard.
Okay, so let's start with the Jerusalem bit and the salaries paid. Then I can list the 3 others.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. First of all, let me put on record, and you can verify, that Imo State government did not send anybody to Jerusalem for pilgrimage, at least not in this year. So I did not embark on any pilgrimage sponsored by Imo State APC government. That is a complete falsehood, deliberate distortion of facts, blackmail and propaganda just to tarnish my image.
Did you embark on
making such a
just to be clear, to lay all the facts out there, did you embark on any pilgrimage at any point, Jerusalem
yes,
pilgrimage?
I am laying background. I am laying background so that I can respond accordingly to that. That I said it's a distortion of facts. The point was that I just returned from Jerusalem on pilgrimage from the Holy Land. And I went on that pilgrimage by the sponsorship of Nigerian government. Nigerian government-sponsored pilgrimages, which I happen to be part of the people who attended that pilgrimage. Now, I have to put on record for the benefit of the general public to know how it came about. The member of the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Tochukwu Okere, who represents Owerri Federal Constituency, in March last year when I'm in 2024, gave me a form for pilgrimage, which I filled. As at that March 2024, Tochukwu Okere was a bona fide member of Labour Party. I filled the form, submitted the form to NCPC, Nigerian Christian Pilgrimage Commission. They are the ones in charge of mobilization for pilgrimages. You know that before pilgrims are sent, it takes processes. The processes ran from March till when we went for that pilgrimage in February 26th. That was when we left for pilgrimages. I went for interview at the pilgrimage board, went for visa interview, and the likes of them. As at that time, Toska was a full member of Labour Party. The only role he played was to give me a form, okay? He was a member of the House Committee on Christian Pilgrimages.
All right.
And I'm not the only person that benefited from that opportunity. So I don't know how it happens to be that I embarked on religious obligation, religious activity.
So who funded? So if it wasn't the state government, this was funded. Yes, absolutely. Just to be clear, so the funding came from federal government and not the state government. Is that what you're trying to clarify?
Exactly.
Okay, that's the federal government, which is also an APC federal government.
I'm coming, sir. It was handled by Nigerian Christian Pilgrimage Commission.
All right.
And so, if you want to ask me that federal government is Nigerian federal government, then the question is this: the governors, even of Labour Party extraction, the House of Assembly members, even of Labour Party extraction, draw strength and funding from federal government.
And that's fair enough.
Are we going to say that they have also done anti-party?
Well, that's fair enough, Mr. Ejegwa. But what a lot of people are concerned about is the way forward. Because these allegations, yes, you've spoken to some of them, the salaries bit, and all, but what's the way forward? Because the Labour Party...
there was nothing like that. That is a phantom allegation and a lie from pit of hell. And my learned friend is very much aware of that. I challenge him to bring the evidence.
Okay, so they are calling on the National Working Committee to appoint an acting state chairman. Yes, you can, but let's take 1 minute each to wind down on this. You can respond to it, but what's the way forward? So, Mr. Ejegwa, you can respond first, then we'll come back to you, Mr. Ejegwa.
You asked him to respond. Okay, he can do that, then I'll answer you on the way forward.
Mr. Ejegwa, please go ahead.
No, please, he feels he's a very smart fellow. In that meeting where he said that...
Please, my learned friend, please, watch your language. Excuse me, sir, please, watch your language. We're on national TV. I take exception. Withdraw that language, please. You are a lawyer.
Okay, so you are no longer smart. Okay, you are not smart. You are not smart.
Please,
no, Mr. Ejegwa, let's speak to the issues and not denigrate anybody's personality. I'll appreciate that.
Sir, let me say something. The same honorable member he's mentioning now was the same honorable member he mentioned in the said meeting in front of witnesses, hundreds of witnesses. You can send Tobe your correspondence, and we can bring tons of people who were present when he said this. And then he said that this honorable member is the one funding the party secretariat. He who dictates, who pays the piper dictates the tune. Sometimes people will say, the Labour Party, you people have moles in Labour Party. How can there is a whole state party chairman? Okay, now I'm happy he admitted that is the same member I'm talking about in APC who gave him the forms. Ask him on whose slots. He went on that pilgrimage on the slots of the said honorable member. We don't have any personal problem with the honorable member. That honorable member is my friend. And sometimes we greet, and we are very good friends.
All right, Mr. Hejirika, so let's talk way forward, because he made it clear that it was while the member was in the Labour Party that the process started. But let's talk about way forward. We have just less than a minute to wind down on this. So, Mr. Hejirika, you've not still spoken about way forward. Do you still insist that the National Working Committee should replace him?
Yeah, see,
all right.
It is about the integrity of it's not anything personal. He's my friend. We practice in the same MBA branch, and I have nothing against him. But we are talking about the integrity of the Labour Party. The fortunes of our party have dwindled so much, and this man
can I come in at this point, please?
Yes, you can come in, Mr. Hejirika. He says he has a lot of people on his side as well. But we have less than a minute, so you can make your point.
That he has a lot of who on his side?
A lot of executives at that meeting that passed the vote of no confidence.
Not at all. Not at all. In that their village meeting that they gathered that looks like assembly of mourners, it's only 4 people there that are officers of the party.
All right.
It's only 4 people there that are officers of the party. Now, let me go to the issue that he mentioned.
30 seconds APC now. We have to wind down in 30 seconds, Mr. Hejirika.
Probably it is he that APC is paying, because I'm not aware of who in Labour Party that APC is paying. Way forward that you ask, let me put on record before Nigerians that there is no crisis of any sort in Labour Party.
All right.
These are just few elements that are being sponsored. We know where their sponsorship is coming from, and very soon they will unmask themselves.
You are the one that is being sponsored by APC.
It is 2027.
Sam, you are the one that is being sponsored by APC.
Mr. Making,
you are a whole state chairman.
You are a lawyer. Can you please respect yourself on national TV as a lawyer?
No, you should respect yourself.
Well, gentlemen, we have to anchor at this point. We have to thank you. But at least you've spoken about the way forward to a large extent. But because of time, Mr. Callistus Hejirika, chairman of the Labour Party Imo State, as well as Mr. Emeka Hejirika, legal advisor of the party in Imo State as well. Thank you so much for your time. I know this is not the end, but we'll keep tabs with the situation. Well, from politics, let's talk about the outcome of politics, which is the policy itself. And following concerns raised over the availability of crude oil feedstock, particularly to local refineries, Dangote being one of them, the head of a technical subcommittee on domestic sale of crude and the NNPC Limited have said that the Naira for crude policy is still on, at least till the end of March. In separate statements, they said there has been no decision at the policy level to discontinue the policy, which came in place October last year for a 6-month period, subject to review. But the big question is, what exactly is playing out here, and what will be the implications? We're joined on the program by Petron spokesperson, Mr. Joseph Obele. Petron is Petrol Owners Association of Nigeria, as retail owners, and he joins us on the program. Well, Mr. Obele, this just came in like a bolt all of a sudden, but for some people, they saw it coming because Nigeria naturally has lots of obligations when it comes to crude oil, right? So for you, what is the big issue here, and how does it impact primarily on the supply of petrol, which is what is important to a lot of Nigerians now? Well, Ms. Obele, if you can hear me, I'd like you to just respond. Please go ahead then.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm just going to repeat my question.
Early this year, in the joint stakeholders meeting inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of Petroleum for Oil, during the inauguration,
please go ahead, Mr. Obele. All right, we'll try to reestablish connection with Mr. Joseph Obele, who's a spokesperson of Petron, because primarily for Nigerians, it's about petrol, the price, the supply, the availability of petrol, even the quality of petrol as well, as much as the conversation on crude supply is on at that level. And Nigerians want to know what happens at the filling stations for their vehicles, for their generating sets, to run their businesses and their homes. But while we'll try to reconnect with Mr. Joseph Obele, let's talk about Rivers politics. And following their victory at the Supreme Court, some officials of the NDDC have pledged their support to the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Mr. Martin Amiwule, The Commission's Executive Director of Finance, Bomayai, said they came as politicians working in the NDDC to felicitate with the Speaker as well as brief him about ongoing projects. And the Speaker, Mr. Amewule, thanked them for their visit, while saying they weren't surprised by the Supreme Court's verdict because they were very conscious of the laws of the land.
We came to felicitate with the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, especially as regards to the judgments they had from the Supreme Court. We came to congratulate them. I mean, you know that in the past or in the last few months, there's been an issue not only in Rivers State but also in Nigeria, which of the sides of the House of Assembly is the authentic one. And by the special grace of God, the Supreme Court of Nigeria delivered in their judgment that the House of Assembly, being led by the Speaker, Martin Amewule, is the authentic House of Assembly, and that House of Assembly should legislate and also to brief them of our activities in the NDDC, to let them know about the projects that we're embarking upon, especially as it relates to legacy projects that are situated in River State, the Ka-Ataba Bridge and the Okrika-Burukri Link Bridge. So we have informed them that those projects have commenced and that in the next few months or years, those projects will be completed for the benefit of Rivers people.
And just before we go, let's bring you breaking news just in. The Supreme Court, we understand, has dismissed the appeal against the Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa's candidacy. Recall that last year, the Federal High Court had made a decision on the same case, but now the Supreme Court has given it finality. The Supreme Court dismissed the appeal filed by Mr. Agbola Ajayi of the People's Democratic Party in Ondo State against the candidacy of Governor Aiyedatiwa of the APC. In the lead judgment, which was delivered by Justice Lawal Garba, the Apex Court dismissed Mr. Agbola Ajayi's appeal on the ground that it was filed out of time and that he lacked the right to file the lawsuit being from another party. The court added that the matter is an internal affair of the defendant's party. So again, the Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal against Governor Aiyedatiwa's candidacy. By the way, this is different from the case at the Federal High Court sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, which also dismissed a suit challenging the eligibility of Mr. Aiyedatiwa and his deputy. Now, that one which was dismissed at the Federal High Court sitting in Akure was filed by the NNPP's candidate, Mr. Olubenga Edema. Well, this one, which was just decided by the Supreme Court, was filed by Mr. Agbola Ajayi of the PDP. Again, the Federal High Court in the state had ruled on that case in December, and now the Supreme Court has given it finality. That's where we draw the curtains on the show this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayode Okikiolu, to stay with Channels Television for all of your breaking and political stories. Good night.